Women who gave nice guys a chance, how did it work out? He seemed a bit shy but goofy, smart and genuinely kind when he approached me, so I agreed to go out, and we hit it off at first. Deep meaningful conversation about our personal challenges, him quickly meeting my friends and me being the first person he called after a family emergency. We were both pretty vulnerable, but things were seemingly progressing somewhat well. One day he was on Tinder in bed next to me, and when called on it, he said that dating me had made him realize that he needed more confidence and experience with women, and thus needed to date a lot more different people, but that he only ducked the others at their houses, so I was obviously his number one. I freaked, cried and broke things off. He called me the next day to casually ask me out to the new Hunger Games movie. I got an STD screening the next week. He harassed me at work for another 6 months. Had a nice guy on Tinder who didn't make it to date for the following reason. He lived in a different city, so he insisted on an all-day date. Lives about 50 minutes away. I said I'm not comfortable subscribing to 8+ hours with someone I hadn't met yet, but he kept insisting I had to make it worth his while to come through. At this point I said I can't see it going anywhere, and it was putting me under pressure, and that made me feel a little uncomfortable, that realistically, it may not work out, so let's just leave it. So then he says he's gonna book a hotel and come through. Explained that's sweet, but it's making me uncomfortable. So he says I can have the bed and he'll be a gentleman and have the sofa. I explained that he seems to have the wrong idea. I'm not going to a hotel with him, and I feel uncomfortable. I don't want to meet. He continues to press, saying he is nice guy. He won't make me have intercourse if I don't want to. I say I don't want to. I don't want to go to a hotel. I don't want to meet. It's too much pressure, and for someone I've not met, I feel uneasy. Thanks, good luck with your search. But apparently I need to give him a chance. He's willing to come all this way. I say no. He keeps finding new things to message me, uses my phone number to add my Snapchat, and says he can see what street I'm on. At this point I start feeling very uneasy. I didn't know I had location on. I block him. He messaged on something else. So I say I've got back with my ex. I see my ex a lot. We are good friends. He's happy to have a word. So he starts going on about my ex had his chance and blew it. He is a much nicer guy than my ex. He will treat me like a princess and worship me. And my ex has blown it etc etc. I tell him this is my choice. Thanks and goodbye. Please don't try to message me on anything else as it's not appropriate, and I've already blocked on 3 things. Fast forward 4 months and I move cities. I get an Instagram message. It's the nice guy saying he's seen my on Bumble in this new city, and even though we haven't matched it must not have worked out with my ex. He's using Instagram and can see I'm near the station. Is that even a thing? And we should go on that date that I owe him. Blocked again. Had a friend stay over that night. All the guys I have known or dated that felt it necessary to label themselves nice guys turned out to absolutely awful humans. Either they had a bad temper, horrible morals, or just didn't want to take no for answer. One even turned out to be an emotionally abusive alcoholic. The actual nicest guys I've dated or called friends were the ones who didn't feel the need to label themselves nice guy. In fact, the best of them usually warned me and others that they were not all that nice, but always turned out to be the sweetest, most understanding, appreciative, and kind guys I've had the pleasure of knowing. He went out bowling with his friends, and then when he came home he complained to me that for the first time in his life a hot girl had hit on him while he was out, and he was unlucky enough to actually have a girlfriend. He seemed genuinely sad he had to turn her down, and expected me to be grateful he did it. He proposed to me after we worked on a group project. When I turned down this guy I barely knew and definitely never dated, he stalked and harassed me for about half a year until he found his next true love. He was a serial proposer. Ted Mosby? I didn't actually give him a chance, but I was talking to my guy friend, Andrew, in the break room at work one day and another guy jumps in the conversation with a "Hey man, what's up?" to Andrew. I assumed they must be coworkers. After that he proceeds to stop by my office every night on his way out to make increasingly awkward small talk. I mention that I have a boyfriend. True, but he keeps coming anyway looking for anything to talk about. Hey, pointing to the carton on the box of cereal on my desk, it looks like we are both into him. Nope, I'm just into generic Lucky Charms, dude. I try to be friendly. Then he escalates into things like, does your boyfriend come take you out to lunch every week? No, you deserve someone who treats you better than that. He offers to build me a better desk. I decline and get a geez, I'm just trying to do something nice for you. I tell him these conversations are making me uncomfortable, and when I'm at work I'm working. He gives me a geez, I was just saying hi on my way out. I close my office door. He keeps coming and knocking. I keep the door closed and wave him off. He gives me flowers for Valentine's Day. I go to my friend Andrew and ask him if he'll tell his coworker to f*** off. Turns out Andrew has only ever talked to him that one time in the break room. We look him up in the company directory and the guy works 2 floors below me, so I'm not on his way out. Eventually I called corporate security and they had a talk with him and his boss and deactivate his badge access to my floor. He was always nice to me, but very easily jealous anytime another guy spoke to me. We were just friends and only went out once, yet he felt like he needed to make me feel bad whenever other guys gave me a little attention. He also had a horrible drinking problem and serious anger issues. And the whole time he was trying to woo me, he was also hooking up with his ex and ended up getting her pregnant. So yeah, no regrets about that. He was a friend of a friend. We went on a date and it just didn't click. Last thing I heard from him was a long rant about how immigrants were stealing his chance to get a girlfriend because generally like being mistreated by evil Muslims and the nice guys forever alone. That's when I felt like I dodged a bullet. He was the nice Christian guy I thought might be change up from some of the duck boys I'd been dating. Well, he was insecure as duck as it turns out and constantly negged me. He was also a pathological liar. He once told me I had told him I did believe in Jesus, even though I explicitly told him I was non-religious when we started dating. When I broke up with him, I told him he treated me like shit and that I was a goddamn catch. Unfortunately we dated for 7 years too long. I was his first girlfriend. We were in college and he was the sweetest guy ever, not a mean bone in his body. My parents loved him, friends loved him, his family loved me, and everyone thought he was the one because how could he not be? He was so kind, polite, just an all-around amazing guy. I loved him, but I just never fell in love with him. From the day we graduated, he really dialed it up a notch and everything he did revolved around wanting to take care of me. He just wanted to do everything for me so that I didn't have to. He got a great job right out of college, bought a house, was making great money for the both of us, and, I don't know, it really made me feel like I couldn't be my own person or my own success story, and that could never be if we stayed together. I ended up being the one to break up with him. The entire world hated me for it, but I made it easy for our mutual friends and just saw my own way out of our social circles. I got a lot of how could you do this to him? How could you be so cruel? And they were right in that I should have listened to my gut earlier and ended it years ago. In everyone's minds, there was no justifiable reason why I would do that to such a great guy, to someone so perfect. But in the end, I knew I wasn't perfect for him. We went our own ways and he ended up marrying a wonderful woman, from what I've heard, and I married my now husband. Today is our 1-year anniversary and we have a baby on the way, due in April. As he sleeps soundly next to me, I'm so thankful that I made the decision I did. I can't tell you how scary it is to think about what my life would have been like had I stayed. It terrifies me to think I wouldn't have what I have now. At first he was very charming and lovely to be with, but he became extremely controlling very quickly, telling me what to wear, how to do my makeup, claiming all the typical nice guy things, like you're prettier without makeup, etc. This was only 3 weeks in, and when I called it off with him, he begged me to stay and claimed he was just protecting me from the duck boys out there, and started spewing shit about how girls never give nice guys a chance. Whatever, man. I'm out to here. Turned out to be an awful human being. Was a nice shy guy at first, but upon getting into a serious relationship that was just for the public, behind closed doors was a very insecure person. He had decent looks, but was short and skinny with glasses. I didn't mind. and never used that against him, but it affected his confidence and he took it out on everyone else. Even after trying to work on it for months and always reassuring him, he ended up cheating on me several times and then hid behind the nice guy victim thing. Went and told everyone that I was out of his league and just using him as a place to live, and I had been the one cheating, which wasn't true. I moved out and got my own place immediately to proceed I could and cut all ties